if you're familiar with Ryan Was, you'll know that one of the things he likes to do is a weekly recap, this week in Australia, which he bases on a Reddit stream that he follows. And I've not done a reaction to any of his This Week in Australia reactions before. But this week, there were a few things in here that I found particularly interesting and that I wanted to do a reaction to. I may skip over a few bits. Sometimes some of the stuff that he looks at is just like, yeah, okay, whatever. But then sometimes there's some stuff in here that is really quite interesting. So let's jump in and have a look at This Week in Australia as per Ryan Was.
Happy Arvo! Hello, thank you so much for joining me today. How you guys doing? Welcome to... Hold on. There it is.
This week in Australia.
That's right. We're all the way from up top here in Indiana.
Okay, it's probably just part of his routine and he does it intentionally, but it cracks me up that it seems like every week when he does This Week in Australia, he's never prepared with that queued up bit, the This Week in Australia. He's always like just a little bit behind the eight ball with putting it up when he introduces it, and I just find that so hilarious.
I'm going down under to see what happened in Australia this week, utilizing none other than the Australian subreddit. Okay, let's do it. Top posts this week. Love you, Merl. Merl Thornton, who famously chained herself to a Brisbane bar in protest against the ban on women drinking in public bars, has died at age 93.
Now, I think we can excuse Ryan for not knowing what AM is. It's not AM. Okay? And I have to admit, I had to look it up to see why it wasn't OAM. Because I hadn't seen it like that before. And I thought that it was... I was curious. So the difference is, so the AM is they're appointed a member for the Order of Australia for service in a particular locality or field of activity or to a particular group. So for Merl Thornton, it would be because of her work for women's rights. And then the OAM, so the Medal of the Order of Australia, which is the higher one, is awarded for service worthy of particular recognition. So I believe that is the higher level of recognition, the one that we mostly hear about.
Oh my God, what a legend. That's an Australian legend right there. Wow. I didn't realize... I've seen that clip. There's like a famous clip of people being interviewed about, or men being interviewed at a pub saying, what do you think about women being allowed into the pub? And they're all upset and throwing a fit and stuff. It's very funny. But I didn't realize that at one point, they were allowed, but then they were banned. I wonder when that happened. Well, thanks to Merl, women can now drink at the bar. That's amazing. I was going to say she's like the Australian Rosa Parks, but that seems insensitive or something. So I'm not going to say that. Rest in peace to Merl. 93 years old, damn. And she's been chained to a pub for 45 years. And she managed to survive till 93. That's amazing. Always good to celebrate a trailblazer. Damn right. That really is legendary. Today I learned she is Sig Thornton's mum. Well, now I need to learn who Sig Thornton is.
When you consider how iconic Sig Thornton is in Australia, it just blows my mind that he's not heard of her. And I know it's another country, he is a little bit younger, so he wouldn't have seen movies like Man from Snowy River. But even still, like, this is Sig Thornton. She's like one of the top Australian actors or actresses. of all time. I mean, she's had a career that spanned close to 50 years, and she's done some pretty amazing work. I mean, I'm just rewatching All the Rivers Run, and while the background music is a bit dated, it is still a brilliant piece of Australian film. And Sea Change, what an utterly brilliant series. Man from Snowy River. I could just go on and rave about Sig Thornton. But, and I know he hasn't finished talking about her here and he's going to go, this is who she is. But I just found it interesting because I didn't know this about her mother. And the funny thing is that having just finished rewatching Sea Change and started on All the Rivers Run, I actually made a comment to my sister the other day that Sigrid Thornton does really well with playing these really strong characters. And she does. You think about the really iconic roles that she's done, and they've always been really strong characters. And, well, now we know where it comes from. And I saw an article today when I was looking for pictures of Sigrid Thornton that show that she actually followed in her mother's footsteps, and she actually protested before she was even known as Sigrid Thornton against, I think it was the Harlem Raiders coming to Australia back in the early 80s or late 70s or something like that. So there must have been something to do with apartheid in South Africa probably. But yeah, I mean, you can see now why Sigrid Thornton plays such strong characters as an actress, because obviously there is a real family legacy going on here.
Sigrid Thornton. That's a pretty badass name. She's got a badass mom. Australian film actress, of course. Australia turning out too many good actors and actresses. Okay. Legends. The drinks lady on my hospital ward understood the assignment. Is that a healthy amount of Milo?
Okay, here's a challenge. Who's willing to make bets on how many teaspoons of Milo is actually in that drink? Because there's got to be more than 10. I always thought that a decent Milo was, between 5 and 10 teaspoons so that you can scoop it off the top and then stir it in. But surely that's more than 10 teaspoons. That's pretty damn impressive.
I learned about this stuff called Ovaltine the other day, and I was like, oh, America does have like a Milo type thing. It's called Ovaltine. I don't know. Maybe you guys have Ovaltine too. I need to look into that. Is that similar? Is that the same stuff here? Let me see if you guys have that.
Okay, Ryan has just lost major points here for trying to compare Milo with Ovaltine. Someone needs to educate him that Ovaltine isn't anywhere near in the same league as Milo.
Yes, Australia has Ovaltine. Ovaltine is not only at home in Britain, the USA, Switzerland, Canada, and Australia. There you go. Well, I don't know who drinks Ovaltine. It definitely sounds like an old person type thing. Is that the old person Milo? I mean, who's drinking that? Because you guys all drink Milo. But apparently people over here, at least in the Midwest, drink Ovaltine, which is like a chocolate powder.
Comment below if you do actually drink Ovaltine. And if you do, are you Australian or are you in another country? To me, if I'm going to go out and buy something like this, I'm going to buy Milo. Because, well, how can you go wrong? You can't stir Ovaltine into your ice cream and have Ovaltine ice cream. That just doesn't sound the same. And, well, it's Milo. You can't really do better than that.
Asked for a cold Milo, received this glorious concoction. There's more hidden by the milk. She's made the cold Milo as normal and then added more. Women needs a raise and a medal. I bet that the numbers on your blood test will improve today. Alternative medicine at its finest. Dear Australia Post, if you run out of time to deliver my package and you need me to pick it up from the post office, that's fine. Just say that. Lying that you knocked and no one answered doesn't help anyone. It probably helps the employee that skipped out on delivering your package, because I'm sure they have to mark down on their little tablet that they attempted to deliver it. And if they said they just went home, they would be fired. So it probably helps them.
Okay, but there is an option. You can actually go online to the Australia Post webpage and you can actually create an account for yourself at your current address. And you can put in your preferences for packages. So you can say your preference for packages is, if you are not home, please leave it in a safe spot. So yeah, this person, maybe they just didn't hear the postie. How do they know that the package was there in the first place? Because how do you make that comment if you don't have time? Say you didn't have time, don't tell me I wasn't here. Because they must know that the package was there, if that makes sense. Anyway, moving on.
Global cancer rates in people under 50. Oh boy, might have to swap out the Milo for Ovaltine, folks. Holy crap, what is going on? Is it the mining? It's got to be the mining industry. That's a real shame. I know a lot of coal miners over here in the States, well, they mostly get like CPD or whatever it is. Is that the right? What is it? Their lungs don't work. The black lung. Cases per 100,000 people. Whoa. All the way down to 15 in parts of Africa. Maybe that's just like underreported, but in parts of India, why is cancer so low? But then in like Western countries, it's so high.
He already answered his own question there. Western countries, in other words, Western medication, cancers are being diagnosed in these more Western countries. So, yeah, you are going to see higher rates of them. But let's not forget too that Australia is recognised as pretty much the melanoma capital of the world. The high rates of skin cancer in Australia would play into this big time.
Like all the way up to 136 per 100,000 people? Oh my god, that's more than 1 in 1,000 people. Yikes. Oh, skin cancer. Skin cancer. Why did I not think of that? So being near the equator, well, I don't know. I was going to say that must be why, but it doesn't really correlate with other places near the equator. Maybe it's because it's all a bunch of white people near the equator. Maybe that's it. That's got to cause a lot of skin cancer.
You've got to remember too that part of it is our way of life. We live in a country where we do spend a lot of time going to the beach. People go to the beach so much through summer. And realistically, it's only the last 20 years or so that we've thought about making schools sun smart. So, up until 20 years ago, kids would go out into the playground at recess and lunch in full sunshine on a warm day and be fully exposed. I mean, I can remember in high school, in in the summer months, you'd go outside and you'd find somewhere to sit and try and get a bit of a tan on your legs during the lunch break because, we didn't know any better. So, yeah, I think it definitely comes down to lifestyle as well. And you look at New Zealand and they are very similar colouring. They are lower than Australia, so they're not copping quite as much sunshine. But definitely, and yeah, he's right, we do have a greater population of fair-skinned people, which means that makes us even more susceptible. But yeah, come on, we're a beach, outdoorsy, loving country, so that's going to play a part.
Use the sunscreen, folks. Yep, my husband died at the melanon. Why can I not say that word? I'm done trying. At 26, the damage was done in childhood back in the 70s. Thank goodness sun safety was being taught when our daughter was born. Oh my God. Wow, it's that dangerous. 26 years old. That's tragic. 2 out of 3 Australians will get diagnosed with skin cancer in their lifetimes. Another effing win for Australia, boys! We're number 1. Well, it looks like wherever this dude works is not helping contribute to this problem, or solving this problem. Because my workplace has no procedure in place to stop all the microplastics we make. That can't be good to inhale.
Seems to me that workplace needs an audit by Workplace Australia. Because he's right, it can't be the safest place to be working.
A homeless man has purposely reoffended in order to go to jail after requesting a longer jail sentence and being denied. So he just went out and committed a crime. This reminds me of, there's a news story like this. It comes around every once in a while over here in the States where someone does that to access health care.
Realistically, this is nothing new that is happening here. This has been happening in Australia forever. Especially people who reoffend because they get out, they can't get jobs, they can't get somewhere to live, and they know that they're going to get 3 meals a day, a roof over their head, and yeah, all the healthcare they need in jail, so they reoffend. And I mean, seriously, at the moment, just look at how hard it is in Australia for people to get by. So, yeah, not surprising.
I was looking at this and I didn't understand it. Singapore Airlines may need to update their destination map on their planes. That all looks fine to me. The futuristic Darling Harbor monorail. Apparently, it's been closed for over 10 years. Well, as an American, this still looks very futuristic to me. I've never seen anything quite like this type of public transportation. Wow. Can you ship it over here to us if you're not going to use it?
Okay, I'm not a Sydney sider, but it's my understanding that the monorail was a flop from day one. Is that correct?
And I think I'll close it out with this photo. There's a lake in Wales that looks just like you. Where's Tasmania? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
That is actually pretty close. And I think if you were to take off that extra bit on the side at the bottom, flip it a bit and shove it underneath, that would be your Tasmania. That is pretty cool. Well, I think this has been a kind of interesting week in Australia, and I don't think that Ryan has embarrassed himself too much. We definitely need to educate him in terms of Milo and Ovaltine. But other than that, and maybe, send him a few DVDs so he can see Sig Thornton in action. But, yeah, other than that, I don't think he's done too badly with this. Anyway, if you're new, please subscribe to my channel, help me to grow it. Also, YouTube loves it when you hit the like and when you leave comments. It helps me get my videos out into the algorithm and gets them seen by more people. So thanks for watching. See you on the next one.